Hello everyone and a very warm welcome to a special edition of the Everton Show. Now let me tell you, there have been some memorable occasions at Goodison Park down the years, and last Sunday is right up there amongst them, and yet not a single football was kicked, nor a single tackle made. However, there were a few punches thrown and the old stadium was rocking as one of our own made himself the champion of the world. And alongside myself and Snods this week is the Cruiserweight champion of the world, Tony Bellew. Has it sunk in yet?
Not yet, no. But it is there, getting there slowly but surely. It sank in a little bit yesterday morning before I was leaving for Media City and obligations that I had to fulfil. I got a bowl out and I haven't had cereal for about 3 months. And I was pouring sugar puffs into the bowl and I just said to myself as I put the milk on top of them, champion of the world eating sugar puffs.
I didn't think sugar puffs would be in the first conversation, but there you go. Tony Bellew can speak about what he wants. Well, as you can guess, this week's Everton Show is all about the bomber, a lifelong Evertonian who took on and conquered the rest of the world. We've been with him every step of the way, and we've got some terrific exclusive footage for you this week.
I'm happy. I want to see it happen like a soccer, the way I always see in the TV. It's what I expect.
I think a lot of things that he's experienced in the past will lead him to being in great shape for this moment. Even the Rocky film, and being around those kind of people and those kind of events. There is a huge amount of pressure.
When he walks out to the ring, I'm going to tell him, enjoy the ring walk. So I want the fans to make as much noise as they can and really behind him, so he feels that when he walks to the ring.
He knows when he lands that left hook, he knows he can hurt anybody. He's hurt me in sparring, and he's knocked many opponents out, and he hurt Macabu there.
Snods, you and I were there at Goodison Park. It was a night we were never going to miss. What a night it was.
Fantastic, unbelievable. I was sat ringside with Graham Stewart, and I'd have preferred to be in the Gladys Street because it was absolutely bouncing. When the sirens came and Z-Car started, I know my 3 boys and my nephew were in the upper Gladys, and they said the atmosphere was electric when he came walking out. How did it feel, Tom, when you actually did come out to that?
I can't put it into words. The coach who's with me, who's here today, coach said to me, listen, don't touch your hands of the crowd, but I just stopped him and I said, look at that. Unbelievable. You see me say it on camera, just unbelievable.
It was just about a perfect night. Now, the normal procedure for the story of a local boy made good is to first of all achieve your lifelong dream, and then maybe afterwards, and only afterwards, make a Hollywood movie. Not Tony Bellew, though. Typically, he became the very first person to do it the other way around. This is Everton TV, so the carpet may not be the right colour, but this is still a special occasion. It's the UK premiere of the Hollywood film Creed. It stars our very own lifelong Evertonian, Tony Bellew.
We love Tony. He's a great ambassador for our club in his own right as well in the boxing world. So we're here to support him as much as anything else.
You Evertonians get everywhere, don't you? But I gather Goodison Park has a bit of a role in this movie, hasn't it? And of course, Tony's a big Evertonian, isn't it? So I'm just coming to see what they do with Goodison, really. Forget the movie.
I'm envious of where he is now. He's in Rocky. Rocky Balboa's been my inspiration, as he has many fighters' inspiration as a child. And fair play to him. I'm really pleased for him, and I'm looking forward to see how it comes across on screen.
It's amazing, getting one of our own up there, alongside the greats. He doesn't get any bigger than Sylvester Stallone.
It's the first time we've been on the red carpet, but really looking forward to it. Obviously, the Tony Bellew angle. So looking forward to see the film. It's something we grew up with, watching Rocky movies, so really looking forward to tonight.
Well, I'm really looking forward to seeing Goodison in all its glory on that big screen. I mean, we were there when it happened. We were wondering what the reaction would be. The reaction was absolutely spectacular, so it's going to be great to see it tonight. A real treat for us, I'm sure.
It was so nice to see him take on the challenge of acting, which is so different than the sport that he does. But I'm so proud of him. I think he did such a fantastic job in it. If he wants to act, he can do it now.
He had everything all over the set. I mean, blue is everywhere. We tried to play practical jokes with him every once in a while, throw some red flags in there every once in a while just to mess with him. But yeah, he's a diehard Everton fan.
Tony Bomber Bellew, it's my man right there. Trust me, he's become a movie star. It's crazy. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
You know, he's so talented, man. I think Tony's got a great future as an entertainer. I mean, he already does commentary for Sky Sports, and if you watch his fights, if you watch the stuff around his fights, he just sucks the camera up. You know what I mean? The camera loves him. So working with Tony was just incredible. Once I met him, I knew it wasn't a risk at all.
I'm on a red carpet with Sylvester Stallone, Rocky Balboa, John Rambo. I'm with three legends in one night on one carpet. It's unbelievable, mate. I just can't believe I'm doing it. I can't believe I'm here. And long may it continue.
Enjoy the night, Tony.
Thank you very much. All I can say is come on, you Blues. Ali, 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 oh.
Tony, that was an incredible night, seeing you on the red carpet, a movie premiere. Did you ever doubt that the story of the film would become the story of your life?
I never thought it would happen in the way it did, no. But I never ever doubted I'd be world champion. I always thought I had what it takes to be world champion. I always thought if I get the right champion at the right time, I could always fulfill that obligation. But when it became Makabu, I just thought, yeah, it's a my nightmare opponent is him, a southpaw who can punch. And then, you know, I fought him at Goodison Park. You just couldn't. You couldn't write it. So if someone went to a director with my story, they'd say, "Take it away. It's too far-fetched."
Yeah, come back with Creed. Well, Tony's very first professional punch was thrown way back in October 2007 against a fighter called Jamie Ambler in Nottingham. Tony won the bout, of course he did, and the journey towards his incredible dream really was up and running. There were plenty of highs and one or two lows along the way, but eventually the announcement he'd craved all his life was duly made. Where else? At Goodison Park.
It's been a dream that's now very close to becoming a reality. You know, I'm happy it's done. Everyone's been behind me, from the chairman to the backroom staff, Eddie here, Matchroom, Sky Sports. Everyone's been around me, and everyone's really helped push it so much.
Can you imagine what it's going to be like in just a few weeks' time here at Goodison?
Looking round now and seeing, you know, the crowds coming in now for today's game, it's surreal. I can't get my head around it. We've come in, we've looked at the stadium, the way we're going to, you know, have it structured with the seat and stuff like that. We've done all that and we've gone about our business. So, you know what? It's just going to be the dream come true, mate. I can't put it into words what it means, but it means the world to me. So,
everyone talks about how special the stadium is under the lights when playing football, but with a boxing ring in the middle of it.
I've done it once, you know. I've been world champion. I've defended my title here, but that was all in the movies. It's time to do it for real now. And, you know, listen, I'll win that world title. 29th of May, I'm lifting that WBC title. King Kong wouldn't beat me in the middle of that ring on that night. So it's I've got to go to work. I'm deep into camp now. I'm training hard. I'm preparing well. I just can't wait. I'm so excited. And like I say, to do it here is just you know, to top it all off. It's an amazing thing. I had a season ticket in that Gladys Street many years ago. I've witnessed some great things at this ground. I've witnessed us save ourselves from disastrous things. This club and this ground means so much to me, and it's amazing that, you know, I'm trying to finally give a little bit back.
And one thing you can count on is the support of the Evertons. They will turn out in their thousands for you.
I really believe they will, and that's what I'm hoping for. You know, it's listen, everyone in this crowd, I'm one of them. I'm one of them. You see people here screaming and shouting at me. I'm just a normal fan. I'm just very privileged to be quite good at my job, and you know, I have the backing of these amazing fans. Like I say, I've done it once in the movies, and now I want to do it for real, and ultimately that's where it's going to go.
Just want to ask you, Tony, did Eddie Hearn share your enthusiasm and your excitement for the venue that was Goodison?
He shared my enthusiasm, definitely. It was just when we sat down with everyone, with Alan and David Harrison and people from the board and Robert, it was quite hard to do at first, because the 28th was the date that the club wanted, but it wasn't possible because we had Ricky Burns on, and then all of a sudden the 29th looked at it, and when they said Bank Holiday Sunday, I just said, listen, Liverpool turns into a different place on a Bank Holiday Sunday. Understand me, it's a Scouse thing, and Eddie was on board, yes.
We can vouch for that, can't we, Steve? All day long. So we've got the opponent lined up, the venue sorted, the date of the fight had been announced. We were nearly ready to rumble, but the Congolese opponent, Ilunga Makabu, certainly wasn't coming over here to play a bit part.
It's my first time to fight in the stadium. I think it will be full, and I'm happy. I want to see it happen like a soccer, the way I always see in the TV. It's what I'm expecting.
What are you expecting to face when you come up against Tony Bellew?
Nothing. I know Bellew is a good fighter. He's a cool guy, and he's expecting to win, him and the supporter, but he don't have that chance because me, I'm following my dream.
So you're feeling confident? How's training gone for you?
Everything is going well. I'm training nicely, and I'm happy because the fight it will happen.
Are you prepared for all the home fans are going to be with Tony Bellew? Are you prepared for that?
No, I didn't come here to fight with the fans. I know people gonna support Bellew, and this is Bellew hometown, you know, and I don't expect nothing from the supporters. People can support, but it will be only me and Bellew in the ring. Nobody gonna come and support in the ring, gonna support outside. And Bellew must not expecting something from supporters because I'm not afraid. He must be ready.
And that's it for part one of our World Championship Boxing Special. Coming up after the break, we'll hear from Eddie Hearn and Johnny Nelson. Welcome back to this Everton Show Boxing Special. We're in the company of Ian Snowden and Tony Bellew. Snods, everybody at the football club certainly shared Tony's enthusiasm and excitement from the second that the world title fight was announced.
Yeah, not only players, current players, but the ex-players. Sylvan Diston, I saw him at ringside. David Moyes, ex-manager, was at ringside. The chairman came up, who obviously delighted, came straight to up to the ring after Tony had won. So we all know what he's like. We all know his enthusiasm. All the lads love the boxing as well, but they all love this lad as well because he's an Evertonian through and through. He's a down-to-earth kid who is driven and wants to be successful, and he certainly was on that night.
How big a part did the chairman play, Tony?
Without him, it wouldn't have happened. Simple as that. That's the best way of saying it. I think the day the chairman first contacted me must have been the biggest regret of his life, giving me his phone number. Because once I was able to contact him, and we speak regularly on the phone, he knew the enthusiasm I had, he knew the passion I had of wanting to fight at Goodison Park, and I've just always wanted to do it. Like I say, it's very rare in life you'll meet someone who's got dreams, and I mean a lifelong dream was always to fight at Goodison Park, and I pursued it, I pushed it. I got it in the movie, but then in the end, I finally got my dream come true at Goodison Park, and I can't put it into words how much it meant when I was walking that ring, stopped and looked at the Gladys Street, then got in the ring and won that world title. It means more to me than anything in the world, and it's the greatest night in Liverpool boxing history. And it will, the fact that it happened for me and I was part of it at Goodison Park, it's like I've gone to heaven. That's the best way of saying it.
Just a pleasure to be there, Snods, wasn't it?
Brilliant, brilliant. Even the undercard were great because there were loads of Scousers on there who I admire as lads as well. Smith Brothers, Big Dave Price. I get on great with them as well, even though they are Reds. They are good lads.
They got a warm welcome off the Blues, though, didn't they?
They did. We didn't expect anything else. Boxing's boxing, football's football. But no, when he come out to Z-Cars, wow, I felt the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. Never mind him.
Have you relived that moment in your mind over and over again?
I have, but what sticks with me the most is I'm a modern style fighter and I prepare in my own kind of way, but I was in the dressing room with 10 minutes to go and I usually have my rap music so loud it drowns out anything. You've heard me in Finch Farm when I'm in the ice bath, Daz.
Dreadful.
Yeah, mate, the music's unbelievable, it's loud. So 10 minutes before we went out, Fran just said to me, turn that down and listen. And it was the fans chanting my name, singing Everton songs, and the dressing room shook. And I just said, I've dreamed of this, and then we walked.
Absolutely fantastic. Well, one man who has shared the journey with Tony Bellew is, of course, his promoter, Eddie Hearn. Eddie must have been sick to death of our man chunnering on about Goodison Park all the time. So he was delighted to finally be able to bring Tony Bellew's dream that little bit closer.
So excited. I mean, you know, the response has been fantastic, the support's been great, and now it's down to Tony. You know, you've got so many fighters from Liverpool here today, all plaguing me to get on the card. They've all managed to get on and convince me to be on, and you know, I'm so excited. A bit nervous for Tony because obviously he's built this moment up in his mind for his whole career, and it never looked like it would happen, and now it's happening. So, you know, I really hope he can do the business, become world champion at Goodison Park on Sunday.
What do you think his frame of mind will be at this moment in time?
Well, he's quite relaxed. You know, he used to be a light heavyweight, which is 12 stone 7. It's more than a stone and a half lighter than where he is right now. So I've been involved with fights with him before when he challenged Adonis Stevenson for the world title. He was a depleted athlete. You know, he was starving himself for food and water, and you know, he didn't have the same punch resistance, he didn't have the same power. So now he's eating, he's relaxed, he's in his home city. I think a lot of things that he's experienced in the past will lead him to being in great shape for this moment. Even the Rocky film, you know, and being around those kind of people and those kind of events, there is a huge amount of pressure. You know, he's been running around selling tickets himself because of the demand for this event. But he's that kind of person. I think he likes to be busy. I don't think as a fighter, you don't want to sit in a hotel room, you know, day in, day out with your thoughts. He wants to be involved with the event, excited about the event, and he is. And like I said, the city's got behind him, Everton Football Club's got behind him, and we can't wait for Sunday, May the 29th now at Goodison Park. The weather, they tell me, is going to be beautiful, 90 degrees apparently, so, you know, it's going to be a great event.
That was Eddie Hearn there looking ahead to the fight, and after Eddie had done his PR stuff, it was time for Tony and Makabu to face the media for one last time, and they did so at the wonderful Royal Liver building on the banks of the Royal Blue Mersey.
Good afternoon everyone, welcome to Liverpool, and I can't believe now we're just a few days away from World Championship Boxing at Goodison Park, the home of Everton Football Club.
A lot of work's gone in from every side, and you know what, it's just time to fight. But, there's not much left to say. I don't really have anything to prolong or go on about, so although he sat next to you and says this isn't a movie, believe you me, mate, I know it's not a movie. And the place ambulance goes on. It's as simple as that, and I know you understand that. So we will see you on Sunday night. This is the first thing from the movie you can see. Listen, there's real blood, real sweat, and real tears get shed in real life. I think that's the release. Shed's real on Sunday night, and I just can't wait. Since the age of 14, 15, all I've ever wanted to do is world champion. I've got 36 minutes to do it on Sunday. So in your life, in your lifetime's worth of work, all goes into them 36 minutes, and that's what it means. Everything else in the world just stops, and it's just about me and him on Sunday when I become the WBC World Champion. You can shout down the new all you want, but believe me, when you look into my eyes, when you see something different you've never seen before, anything. So we will see on Sunday. You can smile, laugh, crack your laughs, or all your teeth and say whatever they want, but believe you me, when it's just me and him, we see something different.
They're not quite like football press conferences, are they, Snods? There's a bit of antagonism, there's a bit of theatre, and it's all part of the drama, isn't it?
It is, it's great. It's promotion, and he's one of the best of it. You know, he's me in his press conference. Mind what he does to his opponents, to be honest, but no, he's great. His verbals are superb. He knows what to say, he knows how to wind his opponents up, and just the stare across to his opponent, he must wind them up to him.
Do you know what? I don't mean to, and I'm not, honest. I don't,
you do, you must do.
I've never gone into a press conference and thought, I haven't got an agenda or to wind them. I'm not. I just go in and some people, in my opinion, don't like the truth. And with Makabu, it wasn't personal, I think, but what I think, I knew he was looking past me. And at that press conference, I just said to him, look me in the face, because when you look me in the eyes, you're going to see something different that you've never seen before. And when people look me in the eyes, they're going to see a will and a desire, and I'm so driven that you can't match. And when at the weigh-in, I said the same. I said a few other words to him, but I just said to him, understand me, there's nothing you can do to deter me or stop me. I'm coming, and I'm not going to stop.
That's worrying me even now, never mind a press conference. Well, next up, we've got Sky Sports pundit Johnny Nelson. Now, Nelson himself was a cruiserweight fighter of some repute, so he was the perfect person to assess the challenge that Ilunga Makabu was bringing to the bomber, and he knew just how much fighting at Goodison Park meant to his mate.
Tony's a massive Everton fan, that's no joke about it, and he said, listen, once we touch you once, you'll become a Blue. And the way obviously Tony Bellew's fighting here on the 28th of the month, and it's to help build the profile for his fight. Plus, we're doing a little bit of a show, a promo for that fight as well, and letting people see how Liverpool fans get behind their sports stars. Tony Bellew was a snot-nosed little kid, you know, a fan of Everton, and then all of a sudden he's all the players know him, the management know him, the chairman knows him, you know, because this is something he's dreamed of. Tony, for the first time, revealed to me that he wants to play football. I said, over box? And he said, well, I'd prefer to kick a ball and get smashed in the face, which I get. And but once he started talking about boxing, about football, his knowledge of the game, of the history of the game, of every little move, of every little player, is second to none. Surprised me, because I thought he was one of us. And then he shocked us and surprised us with his knowledge, his passion. He sees his eyes light up, and the chance of him to fight outdoors here at Goodison Park, the atmosphere, even for Tony. And he thinks he knows what to expect. He thinks he knows what's going to happen. And I'm telling you now, when he walks through that tunnel and he walks out there onto the pitch to get in the ring, and he sees all them people there, it's going to be something he will never ever be able to replicate in his lifetime again. And I know that's how big it is. I prefer to box away from home. Tony prefers to box at home. I can understand that. I can see what he's looking at. But this is going to be one of those things that will never ever be able to, a thirst that will never be able to quench after he's tasted it once.
Tony, in such a tough industry, Johnny Nelson really comes across on the television as a smashing bloke.
He's a great guy, mate. He really is the most successful cruiserweight in history with 13 title defences, and he's been a good friend to me. He's someone who I can rely on, someone I've gone to for advice, and I know there's very few times you'll look at someone that really genuinely happy for you. When I lifted that belt, I seen Johnny close to tears. So, like I say, he's a good friend of mine, someone I look up to as a cruiserweight fighter, and he's brilliant, mate. He really is. He does a great job on Sky, and has always backed me. So, a good person.
You like watching your boxing on the telly, Snoz, don't
I
you?
do. I enjoy it. I've watched this guy live many times, but yeah, any boxing bouts that are on TV, I always make sure I'm there watching him. And remember watching Johnny Nelson. He's a Yorkshire lad, same as me, from Sheffield. Tells me he knows his stuff at football as well, Tom.
Snod, you're a Scouser now. When Snod says he's Yorkshire, man, he's a Scouser to me. So it's mad to say.
Football?
He hasn't got the slightest clue. Johnny Nelson hasn't got the first clue in football. Now, if you asked him on something boxing or fitness-wise or about his body, he'd tell you to the actual point. But if you ask him on something on foot, I'll guarantee you now, he doesn't even know one player who plays for Sheffield Wednesday. Just ask him one player's name, ask him the forward or the goalkeeper, he will not know it. That's a promise.
We'll have him for an Evertonian, won't we?
Yeah.
He's a good lad. And that brings us to the end of part 2 of this week's programme. After the break, we'll show you how Goodison Park was transformed from an iconic footy stadium to a boxing venue fit for a world title fight. We'll also hear from a couple of the boxers who fought on the undercard. Welcome to part 3. Well, in and around Team Bellew last Sunday were a host of men who have made key contributions to Tony's success story. Not least among them was his trainer, Dave Caldwell.
All the work has been done. I couldn't have asked him to have given any more. I couldn't ask him to be any better than what he is now. I've been training for a couple of years now as his head coach, and he's without a doubt the best he's ever been for me. He's faster, he's sharper, he's punching harder. He's in the best shape. All coaches said that in before a big fight, but I genuinely mean that. But the most important thing for me is that mentally he's in the best spot he's ever been. You know, he's calm, he's switched on, he's focused, and he's just 100% focused for this fight. When he walks out to the ring, I'm going to tell him, enjoy the ring walk. So I want the fans to make as much noise as they can and really behind him. So he feels that when he walks to the ring. He'll stand on ring apron, he'll salute his crowd like he always does. I want him to enjoy that. He'll get in the ring, and when Buffer introduces his name, you can't tell a fighter to be switched on straight on, I ignore all this, because it's Michael Buffer. Every kid dreams about being introduced in a world title fight, a WBC world title fight with Michael Buffer. So I want him to enjoy that. But the minute Buffer's introduced him, he's got to switch off. Switch off from the crowd and switch on what's going on in the ring, and that's the important bit, and that's where he's got to kind of like forget about the crowd and when it's a hard fight, and this fight could be a bit of a trench warfare sort of fight, and if it gets to that sort of fight, then the crowd needs to make as much noise as you can, because they're the sort of atmospheres that drives a fighter on. They hear the crowd every time they land their shot. They hear the crowd getting into it, and in real gut check fights, that can make a big difference for fighters.
Tony, Dave Caldwell is somewhere out in the studio watching this recording, so now's your chance. What does he mean to you?
Without Dave, I wouldn't have won the WBC World title. Simple as that. I wouldn't have won the European title either, to be honest. He won me the European title. He's won me the WBC World title. Words of advice are choose your trainer very carefully for you aspiring professionals out there, and make sure you do it with a man who knows what he's doing. I put all my trust in Dave from training me to looking after me, and he's done fantastic by me. Like I say, he won me that WBC World title, got me there. After that first round knockdown, most trainers would panic, and it would be exactly what he would say, to get on your bike, enjoy a few rounds, stay away. He didn't panic one bit. We spoke in the corner after the first round knockdown. We just said, let's take our time, get on the game plan, don't run. There was words, do not run. Engage in a firefight, remember what we said to each other. And the plan was, the smarter fighter will always win in a firefight. So be aware with your defence and then fire back, because he's always believed in me power. And like I say, he takes that power on the pads day in, day out, so he understands. And with him being a former boxer, he knows how hard I hit, he knows how good I can be. And he just lets me go out there and express myself in the way I do best, and that's fighting.
Does it? It just shows you how important it is to have a good team around you. Yes. It's not about the individual, even in a football team. It's not about the individual, it's about having good management staff and good players around you. Tony's obviously got a great camp around him, he's got great people around him, and that's why he's so successful.
Without a shadow of a doubt, without Dave Caldwell, I would not have become world champion. That is a 100% fact. He is the perfect trainer for me, and we linked up at the perfect time.
Lovely words. Well, 2 weeks prior to the big fight, Goodison Park staged one final Premier League fixture of the season when Everton beat Norwich City. Transforming the stadium into a boxing arena to rival any other certainly wasn't easy, and it certainly wasn't quick. This is how it happened, and this, of course, is the speeded up version. This is when the excitement really started, when we could leave the office, pop over to Goodison and see it all coming together.
Yeah, from 1987 when I arrived at Everton, all I've known it as a football ground. It's as simple as that. And in the summer, it just finishes, they reset the pitch, ready for the season after. But the excitement of finishing against Norwich, to know that a boxing arena were going to be set up, for this man to go and win a world title, it's fantastic.
When did you first see it like this, Tony?
I stopped in and seen Frank. He was working constantly from one of the boxes there, and I just stopped by, and we were talking about stuff, and bit by bit that canopy kept going up and up and up, and it was just amazing to see. I was supposed to go back after the weigh-in and walk around and familiarise myself with it, but I didn't. I just thought, what will be, will be.
When we were watching it on the big screen at Goodison Park, Snods, somebody said you could be in Las Vegas watching the boxing here. The weather was beautiful, the setting was perfect. It was terrific, wasn't it?
It was, and I know when me and Diamond actually got to Goodison Park, we met Tony at the top of the stairs. He were having a look around at early doors. We were going in to watch a couple of fights, but then the crowd just kept coming in and in for the main event. And as I said before, it's probably one of the best atmospheres I've been at Goodison Park, and I've been involved in some great games, been some great atmospheres, but that takes some beating.
Far greater than anything Vegas has seen. It took part in the greatest park in the whole world.
Everybody in your team must have been really enthused by the atmosphere.
Anyone who knows me and knows the team and the people I have around me, the Blues through and through. So for the lads to be in the dressing room, feel the vibrations, Franny, Gary, me dad, Dave, they know how much of a mad Evertonian I am, and also how much of a mad Evertonians they are being in there. So when we heard the roar 10 minutes before and the dressing room, it shook. It really did. It shook to the core. They were singing Tony Bellew songs, Everton FC songs, and I just looked at Fran and I just said, I've dreamed of this. I've dreamed of this moment. I'm walking out to Goodison Park to fight for the world title. And like I say, I was just, at the time I was nervous. I'm more nervous than I've ever been for any fight in my life, and I don't suffer with nerves. But once we started walking down that tunnel, I knew it was time. It was time to become world champion.
We were amongst those singing, weren't we?
We certainly
We were
was.
trying to anyway. Right, let's switch our attention now to the undercard at Goodison last Sunday night. And no boxing event in this city is complete without the surname Smith being on the fight list. This time it was the turn of Paul, Stephen and Callum, and we spoke to the elder statesman of boxing's most famous family, Paul Smith, about the Goodison Park experience.
Listen, it's great. I'm a massive Liverpoolian. Always have been, always giving Evertonian stick, always having a bit of friendly banter with them. All my family are Blues. My uncle's just behind you there. He's one of the most bitter Blues I know, and it's been like that for 30 years. But what a pleasure it is to fight at this stadium. You know what I mean? It's a massive stadium. We don't get many football stadium fights in this country, so to be part of this is an absolute pleasure.
It's not often Reds get cheered at Goodison either, and David Price, another victor as well, and I'm pleased to see him get a warm reception.
Yeah, it is. A few of my mates who are staunch Liverpoolians have said it's just usual, business as usual, going to see the Reds when at Goodison. Me, Pricey, Stephen, but no, all seriousness, it's great. What a reception we've all got so far, and Stephen will get an even better reception because it's even later on and there's more fans in, and then Bellew will take the roof off. I can't wait to experience that atmosphere when Bellew's walking to the ring, and Segcars is going to take the roof off tonight when he walks to the ring. But I think tonight's a classic example of football's out the winter tonight. It's boxing, and there's loads of Scousers in there, Red, Blues, Tranmere fans from over the water watching the likes of Dodd and everyone else who are all going to be behind Bellew tonight, and fingers crossed he does the job and does what we believe he'll do and win and become world champion in a dream scenario for him.
Well, if it was a big night for Tony Bellew last Sunday, it was also a crucial one for Liverpool heavyweight David Price. After a challenging 12 months or so, Big Pricey had no option at Goodison Park. He simply had to win. He did, and he got a great reception from the Evertonians.
Oh yeah, I got a great welcome when I walked in, and an even better one when I walked out. So really appreciate it. Great experience, and now we're just waiting for the main man to step in and complete the job for the night.
Nice to get back to winning ways.
Oh yeah, it's a massive relief to get back to winning ways, and to do it in spectacular fashion just makes it even more sweeter. So, you know, it's onwards and upwards from now.
Obviously, the atmosphere is building. It's electric here, isn't it?
Oh, it's massive. I can't believe how much it's filling up, and you can feel the anticipation in the air. It's a special night. I mean, I'm going to go and see Tony now in the changing rooms. I don't really want to tell him how electric it really is out here yet, because I don't want him to affect his preparation or whatever. He'll see it for himself when he walks out, and it's gonna pull him through this fight 100%.
Tony's been so calm in the build-up. He'll be calm for this, won't he?
Yeah, he can't afford to let his emotions affect how he's going to perform tonight, because he's done everything right in training. You know, it's a massive event. It's too important to let emotions take over, and he's too much of a pro to allow that to happen.
I know you're close with Tony, obviously. What would a win and becoming world champion mean to you as Tony's friend?
I'd just be delighted for him. You know, he'd be achieving what he set out to do when he first put a pair of gloves on, and it'd be a massive achievement, and I'd be delighted for him, and I'd also be inspired by it, that, you know, if you work hard enough, and you know, Tony's had to put up with adversity. He's had a couple of losses, he's had a couple of bad times in his career, and he's kept chipping away, and he's going to get the reward tonight in my eyes, and it'll be a massive inspiration for me.
Snods, you know Big Pricey, you know all the Smith boys as well. It was terrific for them to make a contribution on the night, wasn't it?
Yeah, I like genuine people, and they're genuine people. Whether they're boxers, whether just in walk of life, I get on great with them. Even though they are Reds, there's no question about it. I know Dave's gone with Dave Caldwell now. Hopefully Dave can get him producing what I thought he was going to do probably 4 to 5 years ago and become world champion. I'm a big believer in Dave. If he hits somebody, they'll go down. There's no question about it, whoever it is. And the Smith brothers, great lads. What they've done for this city and boxing is fantastic. And I always rib Paul as well. If he's on Sky and he's wearing a blue suit or blue tie, I always tell him he's a closet blue. Always has been. And I get some abuse back off him as well.
You do.
I do a runner.
Big Pricey had to win, Tony.
Oh yeah, listen, he's a fantastic lad, and I've said it from day one, and I'll stick by the words I said when he turned professional. He will be heavyweight champion of the world. It's only a matter of time, and now that he's got his head round things and he's a new team around him, he's got a fantastic coach in my coach, Dave Caldwell. I'm telling you, he's going to be world champion. Liverpool is going to have its first ever heavyweight champion of the world. I'm convinced. He hits so hard. He's dedicated. He's took himself away from home, and he's destined to be heavyweight champion. I don't know he is. He's just a brilliant fighter and such a good person. Even though he is a cop-out, he's me mate.
Reds and Blues, I'm sure, wish Big Pricey all the best. Okay, we're 3/4 of the way through our Everton Show boxing special, and in the fourth and final part, we'll take an in-depth look at the fight that lifted Wavertree-born Tony Bellew onto the top of the world. Welcome back to the final segment of this week's programme. Now, Ian Snowden knows all about the sensation of walking up the Goodison steps and out onto the pitch with the Z-Cars tune blasting away in the background. Tony Bellew's done it himself as well a couple of times at half-time, but goodness me, last Sunday was something completely different. $1 million question. What was going through your mind then?
I have no words to answer it. For once, I'm speechless. I just walked as, and I just thought, I wanted to enjoy the moment. I listened to the coach's instructions, which were, don't put your arms out, don't embrace the crowd too much, just try and just walk to the ring, Tone. That's what he said to me. And it got so far, and I thought, I've got to enjoy something. So I just went stop to the security. And as I stopped with my arms, I just stood there and I just looked for a couple of seconds at the Gladys Street. And as I looked, I just said, it's unbelievable. This is unbelievable. Because although Creed movie was done, it was green screen, it was supersized the way it was. I wasn't in Goodison Park and I wasn't walking to the ring with thousands of people. This wasn't a movie, this was real. And to feel the feelings that I felt, it was just, I can't put it into words.
It was one of the moments of the night, wasn't it?
Without a doubt. As I said, you said, Daz there, I've walked up them steps many times for many years to Z-Cars, and it's the best music in football. It's the best music around. But to be sat at ringside, watching somebody that you admire as a person, I can call him a friend. I was as nervous. I was as nervous as hell for him. I really was. So I don't know how we were feeling, but he did the business.
Did you like the siren?
Loved it. Loved it.
I thought it was absolutely terrific. What a night in the history of Merseyside sport that really was. Tony Bellew was the cruiserweight champion of the world, and although he's right next to us here on the Everton sofa, we make no excuses for him being the next star of our next clip. This is the Bomber inside the dressing room immediately after the fight.
This place has been my life since I was a kid, mate. Home of football, the saying, it's just home. It's the place where I come. This is the place where I come and I'm so happy. All right, Mum? And I'm happy here. I love it here. I'm one of the boys. I'm family. Don't know, but what I am now, mate, I'm Everton. I'm champion of the world.
The fans were unbelievable today, weren't they?
They were loud, mate. They got me up off that floor. They dragged me off the floor. He broke my nose with that first left hand. I got greedy, as the coach said. But you know what? I always knew I've got power, so much power at this weight, and no one's ever even put him on the floor before. I knew once I copped him, he was going to go, mate, and I got him. It wasn't a good camp. I detached my rib from my back. I detached my floating rib off my back about 6 weeks ago when I was in a hyperbaric chamber trying to recover, getting oxygen in a submarine for like 10 days, thanks to Dave Alcock, so much helped me out at the Murrayfield Hospital over the water. And I was injured. I think I've got a cracked finger on my left hand, and my right hand was a mess, but you know what? I had to fight. I have to fight. It's at Goodison Park. If it was any other fight, I'll be totally honest, I'd have pulled out. I'd have postponed it. Especially in the position I'm in, I can't postpone a fight. It's Goodison Park though. And I said, you'd have to kill me. You'd have to kill me. And mate, when I got up at the end of that first round, to be honest, that was going through my mind at some stage, but I thought, can't happen. I'm champion. I'm going to be champion of the world. I've done it. At Goodison Park, mate. Can you believe it?
So when does that belt come off?
When I see my 8-year-old son for the first time, it's his birthday today. I haven't seen him on his birthday, so you know what? This is the first fight my son's ever been to, and I walked into the stadium at about 7 o'clock tonight, and I heard the voice shout "Dad," and I thought, that sounds familiar. I didn't know my son was coming. I gave permission, but I said, don't tell me if he comes or not. I heard his voice in the box. I looked at him, and I walked down the tunnel, and I was crying in the back of here at 7 o'clock this afternoon before the fight, because it's the first time I've ever seen my son's little cute face, and he shouldn't be at fights, because I tell him all the time, this isn't a sport and dangerous things happen in these places, and I don't know why, mate, but it just broke me heart seeing him at a boxing arena. Well, it's Goodison Park though, you know, it's not even a boxing. I just don't know, there's so many emotions going through me in my mind, so many thoughts I've got. I don't know, mate, I've just won a world title, because I have no words to tell you. I don't know, ask me a question, I'll answer it, but I don't know what to say.
Snod, you and I were smiling watching that, because we were just off camera. You and I were in the dressing room afterwards to see the world champion, and it was absolutely unbelievable.
It was brilliant. There were loads in there, the atmosphere, the adrenaline was still pumped up in there, and even I was, and me and Diamond had a couple of drinks, and we ended up going there. And I remember walking in, and I'm going, the new, and I said it twice, and nobody listened to me, so I thought, I better shut up here. I'm making myself look a right idiot. So, but no, it was brilliant in that dressing room, to the adulation that he was receiving, but he was just there with his belt, and don't come better than that.
It was a pleasure to be there, wasn't it?
Brilliant.
Absolutely fantastic. Well, as you can imagine, the home dressing room at Goodison was an electric place to be. Everybody wanted to congratulate the man of the moment. And even Carl Froch himself, a former world champion, got in on the act.
Unforgettable. I thought it was round 2. It happened that quick. Unbelievable performance by Tony. To get put over in round 1, I know what that feels like. To then come back and to force a stoppage in round 3. In the manner in which he did it, just composed, cool. He knows when he lands that left hook, he knows he can hurt anybody. He's hurt me in sparring, and he's knocked many opponents out, and he hurt McAboo there, and he jumped, and he did exactly the right thing. I think his trainer wanted him to just take his time a bit, sit behind the jab, but when you've got that kind of passion and that belief, what Tony's got, and he's one of the most passionate people I know. He loves the sport and he believes in himself, and even when a lot of people around him don't necessarily believe in him, and even the purists and people in the sport think, you know what, he's not quite got it, he's domestic level, or every time he's stepped up to world level he's been found wanting. He's at his comfortable weight now, cruiserweight, and to do a performance, put a performance like that on in his hometown, it's just stuff fairy tales are made of. I'm so pleased for him and his family, and he deserves all the rewards he gets now.
You fought in front of some passionate crowds before. What was that like at Goodison?
Yeah, it was an amazing atmosphere. I mean, obviously the place can hold a lot more than what it held tonight, but there was enough crowd there to get the atmosphere that you wanted in a world title fight. And I'm sure now, after winning that and showing everybody what he's got and what he's capable of, I reckon it won't be long before he's filling this place.
Tony, Snods is always saying to me, one of the best accolades you can have in professional football is to be voted Player of the Year by your fellow professionals. Yeah. So for you to hear somebody like Carl Froch speak so well about you must be terrific.
It is. I've shared literally hundreds of rounds with Carl sparring, and we've got some tales to tell between ourselves. Maybe we really have, but listening to him speak about me, he's my friend as well, so you know, it's nice to be acknowledged by former great champions. It really, really is. It lets me know that I'm on the same level as my peers and they respect me, and ultimately that's a massive thing for me, because like I say, I never ever thought when I got into this sport I was ever good enough to be world champion. I just thought I was good. I didn't even think I was good enough to win an ABA title, so each time I just keep shocking myself, and I'm still going, mate. I'm still shocking myself because I still can't believe that belt's sitting in front of me.
It's a brutal sport played by hard men, so it's nice to hear people like Carl speak so well.
It's fantastic. Much admiration for him as well, because what a fighter he were, and to hear him saying great things about a top fella, it's great.
Doesn't get better than that, does it? So what next for our champ? Well, Denis Lebedev holds the WBA and the IBF Cruiserweight World titles, so he's an option, but it certainly won't be a case of to Russia with love. You know where we are, Denis. Or maybe the bomber can take on this fellow.
This is a message for Tony Bellew. First off, congratulations. Winning in front of your hometown, home fans, home football club, blah, blah, blah. Congratulations, you won the vacant WBC title. Lifelong ambition realised, congratulations. But amongst all the excitement, maybe that punch you took in the first round that dropped you, your brain got scrambled because it looks like you really want to get knocked out by calling me a Bermondsey bitch, talking about knocking me out. You must have lost your goddamn mind. After I've knocked out Shannon Briggs, who's been giving it a lot of that as himself. If you want to be on the list too, I'm knocking out all people talking too much, so get in the list, mate. You're going to get smashed to bits. I used to be a cruiserweight, so the side, we're both the same height, both similar, same size. Let's do it if you want it.
The Everton Show was a family show, Tony, but the floor's all yours.
The hayfaker strikes again. He has his little pop. He's got that top off once again. Is your toe still sore, David? I think that's the best one. You got a sore toe, son, or do you fancy pulling out of any more fights? I'm worried that if I get an announcement against David Hay, he's pulled out twice and soiled his undies against Tyson Fury, and you know he's pulled out of how many other fights? I'm sure that I actually know for a fact he wouldn't come past the last junction on the M62 and face me at Goodison Park. He would not do it.
We'd be there if he does those snuds.
Oh, would we? I tell you. Yeah, Aid's a good fighter, but hey, I'd back this fella. I'd back this fella any day of the week.
Masha Dodd says, I am as hungry as a honey badger.
And Masha gets the last word in again. And that brings us to the end of our Everton Show World Boxing Championship special. Snods and I have thoroughly enjoyed having Tony Bellew alongside us this week, a week in which he walked out of the home dressing room at Goodison Park as a challenger and came back as the champion of the world. And weren't we all so proud of him? What a journey, what a night it was, what a guy he is. We hope you've enjoyed our show this week. Thanks very much for your company and do enjoy the rest of your summer.